Welcome to the cockpit. My name's Ryan, and I'll be your pilot tonight. I am joined alongside my co-pilot. I have Matt O'Leary. Matt, how you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. And I'm excited that I don't have to do one of my other million jobs. So I am here for the full show. And I saw a green bean yesterday. We were doing mock drafts. So just a great time right now.
I love it. I jumped into the stream before it happened. I was like, oh, rats, I got to go play Halo. I can't sit and watch this right now. But I had it on when I went down to the hardware store today. But guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll have Green Bean with us in about 15 minutes or so. And then I think Ali might try to jump in for the back end of this. He had something pop up, so he may not be here. But guys, as you come in, make sure you hit that like button. Greatly appreciated. For every 25 likes we get, we're going to pick a qualifier for our t-shirt giveaway. And if you're watching this after the fact, make sure you leave a comment on the video because you could get entered into next week's t-shirt giveaway as well. And if you don't feel like killing all your cell phone battery and you would like to listen to us, this show is available on podcast form, wherever you get your podcasts. So just look up Jets Talk or Talking Jets. It should pop up there. Matt, how are you feeling? How are you feeling about the Senior Bowl?
I'm feeling pretty good. Everything that I thought was going to happen kind of did. Like Trey McBride, stock up. Pretty much all the tight ends stock went up. I don't really know if anyone necessarily had a stock plummet. None of the quarterbacks really looked that great, but I think we kind of all expected that. So I don't really think there were all that too many surprises. I guess the one negative thing, if you were on the draft Jermaine Johnson with pick 35 or 38, that is not happening because he's probably going to be a top 15.
I would take it.
Maybe
we could get into this. I have no problem taking him at 10, depending on how things fall.
Right.
We got tagged. I don't know if you saw this. I think me and Green Bean got tagged in a Twitter post from Bangle, one of the popular football YouTubers here on Facebook here on YouTube. Duh. He put out a mock draft and he had the number 1 overall was 𝐒𝐿. Number 2 was Malik Willis going to Detroit. And I'll be honest, I could see a quarterback sneaking into the top 10. If you think he could go at 6 or 9 or 11, why not 2?
I don't think there is going to be one in. Sorry. No, I was trying to think where Washington picks. It's 11.
Washington has 11, 10, yeah.
We have pick 10. So yeah, I'm going to stick to my guns. I don't think there is going to be one in the top 10.
Ooh. Well, anyway, so he basically had 𝐒𝐿 at 1, Malik Willis at 2, Evan Neal at 3. So we had our choice of Thibodeau or Hutchinson. And then at 10, based on how the board fell, he had us getting Stingley Jr., which I don't particularly love, but I could live with it at 10, I guess.
Yeah, I would have liked to see who else was on the board.
I would have taken Sauce at that if you're going to take a corner at that point.
Yeah, I've heard that the NFL doesn't really look at Stingley as the number 1 corner in this class right now. I feel like Sauce's stock is way up. And who's the other one? Trent McDuffie. I feel like
McDuffie and Booth are both pretty high.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's another one. People were mocking Derek Stingley to the Jets at 4 for months, but I don't think he goes in the top 10. I think Minnesota at what are they, 12 or 14? Yep. I feel like that's a good spot for him.
Yeah, I've seen him mocked at 8 a little bit to Atlanta. I don't know their cornerback situation, so I'm not really not
great,
too thrilled with it. But what was interesting to me was he was talking about Kyle Hamilton and how he's this unicorn type prospect, and Atlanta wound up taking him at pick number 8. Just 1 year after taking generational prospect Kyle Pitts. So Atlanta's just loading up on guys at non-premium positions in the top 10, and they're just going to have a loaded roster of stars.
Yeah, I mean, who knows if that translates into wins, but it'll be fun. You'll have some Pro Bowlers.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be exciting to kind of see what comes up from the Senior Bowl and everything all around. I would say, if you were hoping to get Jermaine Johnson at 35, that was in my initial mock draft. That's where I had him. And that is not even close. Now I'm more on board with 𝐒𝐿 or Neal at 4 and Jermaine Johnson at 10. I think as far as if you have to go edge, I'm still fine with wide receiver. I started watching a little bit more of Garrett Wilson. I'm on board with Garrett Wilson. I'm on board with Burks. I'm on board with Drake London. Any one of those guys would be fine. And I'm also fine with trading down. I think that's probably where the Jets are. They've seen all these prospects and they're like, okay, we got a bunch that we like. Let's slide down a few picks.
Now, the one that I don't necessarily get, with the Jets were kind of linked to Trevor Penning, just because
Yeah.
I don't think, like, I feel like he's a late first round guy. So you're going to have to drop a long, long way in order to grab him. And he scares me. Like, I love how he's physical and intimidating, but there's a line and he is very close to that line. So I feel like he could be like a penalty machine, which is not always the best thing.
No, definitely not. You know, if you're going backwards, you're not going forwards, right? I don't know. I would not think of him as an option for us unless we trade down from 10 and like got the edge rusher at 4. But even then, I want someone that can play guard and tackle. I don't necessarily want like a pure tackle, because I would like to still have hope for Becton. I would like to, I think we're going to extend Fant. Last I heard, we were like possibly looking into contract extension, but I don't know, what he's actually looking for. We'll see. Not too sure. Thomas Cahill agrees with me. He says 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐽 over Neal. I do like 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐽 over Neal. At least right now.
I'm good with either. I think it's a home run either way. I think just Neal's probably going to be the first pick. I think Jacksonville ends up going with the offensive lineman. It felt like forever that Kayvon Thibodeaux was locked in to be the number 1 pick. And then last few weeks, that really hasn't been the case.
Yeah, there's definitely a part of me that is concerned about how, I don't know how to say this. Like, is his maturity level there? There's a reason why he's dropping. I don't know. If you had the pick between Hutchinson and Thibodeaux, you're still you would go Hutchinson probably, or would you lean Thibodeaux?
No, Hutchinson, but not by much. It's very close.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Here's the weird situation. If you have, well, no, I guess we've talked about this before. If you have Thibodeaux and 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐽 on the board sitting there, if you have any concern about the makeup of Thibodeaux, if he's not the I love football kind of guy, or the I love, there was like five things that the Jets coaches look for or whatever. And it's like, boom, boom, boom. You got to have a passion for everything. If they're questioning that at all, I think 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐽's the pick. And then you go with Jermaine Johnson at 10. If they are fully on board with Thibodeaux and they think, hey, look, this guy is the next, legit edge rusher, then I think we take him at 4. And then I don't know what happens. Like if we wind up going guard in the 2nd round, maybe, and then you wind up going with receiver or linebacker, or who knows?
I really want to see a receiver with that 2nd first round pick. I'm kind of, and I know like pigeonholing yourself into one position usually isn't a good thing, but there's 3 that we really like in Drake London, not Jameson Williams, excuse me, after the injury, Treylon Burks and Garrett Wilson. So with there being so many options on the board, I kind of feel like just pick your favorite or pick which one you think will impact this offense the best and help Zach Wilson get better. And then kind of worry about defense on day 2 and day 3.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of throwing a bunch of like darts at the dartboard for defense, because you wind up getting guys like Eccles, you wind up getting guys like Michael Carter, and then you don't have to spend a premium pick on it. You could spend all your premium assets to help your quarterback long run. And once your quarterback's fully established, then you don't have to worry about it. Now you're just like, plugging in pieces. Once your guy is the guy, like Burrow is the guy, they have like $60 million in salary cap space next year. They're going to sign friggin' everyone. Everyone's going to go play with Mahomes for a year.
Yeah.
Burrow.
I knew what you meant, but that's true. And also with this staff, like more than likely Joe Douglas isn't going to get another chance to draft another quarterback. So he better damn well make sure that Zach Wilson's the guy. So I feel like you can't just be like, oh yeah, you went from 32nd up to 21st. We're good with that. And then, we're just going to stay in that range. I think you have to, add more, especially at tight end, man, just because of how barren they are there. And we saw it earlier in the year. They were running 2 tight ends out there a lot. So we know that's what they want to do. They just physically couldn't because they had Ryan Griffin, Trayvon Wesco, and Tyler Kroft playing the position. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're definitely they're going to bring in some tight ends for sure. Okay, so where are your thoughts as far as how our free agency breaks down? Because I'm not high on us, or I don't think it's going to I don't think we are going to sign the big free agents. I think they're going to choose elsewhere. Like we've always said, oh, we want Tooney, we want to spend a bunch of money on Tooney. He goes elsewhere. Like I think Schultz if there's a situation where like the Bengals need a tight end, who do you think he's choosing? He's not choosing the Jets in that scenario. Is there a big name free agent you think we will get? I guess I know you want Schultz, but like, is that the guy you think we wind up getting?
No, I think he probably gets franchise tagged, which would be very depressing. But I don't remember if it was on here or with Green Bean. I talked about Zach Ertz and kind of like him being a stopgap. And you also add a Trey McBride or Jeremy Rucker, and he kind of takes the rookie under his wing for a year or two, shows him the ropes, and then that player kind of takes over, almost like what he did with Dallas Goedert. I mean, that seemed to work out perfectly there in Philadelphia. And he still has enough left in the tank. He had over 700 receiving yards this year. I think he's still, a solid tight end. Gerald Everett's another name. I just don't. Evan Ingram scares me. I'm not an OJ Howard guy. I think he's a little overrated. And David Njoku is just too inconsistent for me. So some of the other big name guys who are hitting the market at tight end, I'm kind of scared off from.
Yeah, I like Ertz. I wanted to trade for Ertz when he was available. I don't know if we are the team he would choose to go to at this stage of his career. If we were like way and away like the highest offer, then I think we probably wind up winning that. I think that's probably why I think it's a little more realistic that we wind up going after someone like an Njoku or an OJ Howard. It's not by any means a home run. And if you want to double dip at tight end in the draft, by all means, I don't care. I think either one of those guys would get like a 1 year, $4 million deal or something along those lines. You're really gambling on upside there. But yeah, free agent wise, I don't know if there's a guy I really see us going after. At least at like positions of need, like who's actually going to be available. I would like to see us go after a veteran edge rusher, because almost like how you said with the tight end situation, I would kind of like that with the edge rush situation. Kind of plug a hole with like a Justin Houston, a Chandler Jones, I don't know, what's another guy? There's like Von Miller, someone like that. Someone who's looking to cash in a little bit at the end of their career, get him for a year or two. And then if you get a guy like Thibodeau in the draft, you're going to have him on a rookie contract. By the time Carl Lawson's contract's up, you're going to be looking at extending, Thibodeau or Hutchinson or whatever anyway. I don't think bringing in a veteran edge prevents you from necessarily taking one.
No.
So I think it's probably.
And another team I think you should watch, just talking about the edge rushers, Green Bay is going to have some cap issues. So one of the
Smiths, Preston,
Darius, one of those two guys. Instead of saying like, okay, we're just going to cut you, maybe you can do one of those things where like, hey, we'll throw you our last pick, our 5th rounder, and we'll take on the contract. So you don't have to just cut him and lose him for nothing, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with the, I'm going to pronounce this guy's name wrong. It's not Daniel Hunter. It's Daniil Hunter. This is me learning words today or yesterday. Daniil Hunter. So he's got a fat contract this next year, but he's under contract for 2 years, $20 million and then $5 million. So you'd have to renegotiate if you were to trade for him. But if you could get guys on bad contracts from teams in cap hell, I'm all about it, because the Jets are not going to attract these guys in free agency. You have to lock them in with a contract via trade. That's why I'm so for trading for a wide receiver like Thomas or Cooper or Ridley, anything like that, because we just don't attract that kind of talent.
Unless you overpay.
And we don't want to overpay. I don't mind renegotiating a deal via trade. Like, hey, you want to get out of Atlanta? Here's the deal that'll get you out. You want to take it? And then if he takes it, then we're, probably not 25 million in the hole like you might be with DK.
The one position that I think I see them spending big on is safety, just because I think there's going to be so many that hit the market. I feel like you're going to come away with one of them, whether it's Williams or Bates or, any of those guys who are going to hit the market, because there's going to be a lot. Yeah,
Bates is an interesting one. They have plenty of cap space to bring him back. So depending on how they want to handle that, I think they could bring him. Justin Reed is Justin Reed's the one from Houston, right? That's the one I would like to go after, because I think the price point makes sense. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love Marcus Williams. I think he would be my top choice of safety if you were to spend money. And I think they're, maybe you could get away with that. The Saints just hired their defensive coordinator, Dennis Allen, for head coach. So I get the feeling he may want to try and retain as many defensive guys as he can. But I don't know.
He could, I mean, in theory, yes, but at the same time, too, do you know, like, do you want to sign up for that rebuild? Because I don't think it's going to be a pretty situation. They don't have a direction right now.
No, there's a reason why Peyton stepped away, and he knew it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you know what? Let me. I was talking to someone, and they were saying if you go on over the cap and you cut every player from the Saints, they're still over the cap. And I don't know if that's actually true or not, but I'm gonna try it right now. So I'm gonna cut everyone that saves money. Right. Actually, you know what? I could share my screen. I'm gonna do this. Share my screen so we could all see this.
Yeah, let's do it together.
In real time here. All right, share screen. Yes, I understand. They can see my porn that I'm looking at.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Bam! All right. So once this allows me to do it. All right. Let me get the super chat out of the way. Thomas Cahill comes with a super chat, says, what are the chances of Williams not getting tagged? That's what we're about to find out right now. All right, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to cut anyone that saves money. Bam, bam. This is ridiculous how high they are over the cap. So they're going to have to like renegotiate a bunch of players. It's a throwaway year. Basically like what the Texans had this past year.
What do you think they do at quarterback? I have no idea.
I don't have a clue. It's like I don't know if they pull the trigger to draft one because they don't have the assets to trade up because they need the money. Or they need cheap players. Oh, wow. No way. Check this out. I guess these are the top guys. So submit cut. You can cut every player except for Marshawn Lattimore, Ryan Ramczyk, Andrus Peat, Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill. I mean, I guess you technically, let's do this just for shits and giggles. You don't save anything, but we'll do it. Cesar Ruiz and Marcus Davenport, and we're still $17.5 million over the cap. They have how many players? Oh, it doesn't even tell me how many players under contract now, but I guess it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You could have 7 players on the Saints and be over the salary cap.
Perfect. Sounds good to me. Sign me up.
Right? Check this out. Stream, chat. This is legitimately why you need to be looking at the Saints to try and snatch up some players. Absolutely. Can't believe it. I'm glad that worked out that way. That makes me laugh.
There's going to be some good people available.
Yeah. All right. Before I go any further, let me just bring up our sponsor for today's stream. And that would be wham! DraftKings. Here's some big news just in time for the Super Bowl. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the Super Bowl 56, Super Bowl 56, is officially live right here in New York State with mobile sports. That means you can place a bet no matter where you are with DraftKings Sportsbook. And DraftKings is making it even more exciting. So listen to this. DraftKings is giving new customers a special offer that you don't want to miss. Bet just $5 or more on the Super Bowl and win $280 in free bets if your team is victorious. DraftKings is safe, secure, reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Sign up using code JETSTALK. Bet just $5 or more and win $280 in free bets if your team wins. That's promo code JETSTALK this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full details. Must be 21 or older and physically present in New York. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Whew. God, those 60-minute reads.
It's a long
60-second reads. It feels like 60-minute read. We've got the green bean in the house. And man, you got like 60 frames a second over there. You look beautiful.
Yeah,
I do. That's so good. That's good news. I was worried because I'm like, I every night a different internet works. So tonight I was just having problems 30 seconds ago. So this is good news. I'm happy.
I was going to say you wouldn't know it because you are absolutely looking fantastic right now.
Woo!
All right.
Let's
jump in right here. Fly Guy jumps in with a super chat. Says, what do you think about Trayvon Walker from Georgia. Who knows anything about Trayvon Walker from Georgia? Who wants to start?
He's big.
He's
6'5",
big.
275. He's a big boy.
Position. Edge?
No.
I would.
Oh wait, yes. Yeah. Sorry. Go on, Matt.
like a bigger edge, but
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a heavy dude. I don't know anything about him, so I cannot speak with any sort of intelligent like speaking. But let's see. We'll go to his draft profile. See what they're saying about this guy. The Draft Network. All right. Ideal role, versatile defensive lineman who can win as an edge rusher or along the interior. A multiple front scheme that will be willing to move him around the line of scrimmage to create advantageous matchups. I don't know if I love that. I like the guy just pinning his ears like back on the edge. But I'd have to watch more of him to actually give you a concrete understanding.
Yeah, you know what I like about guys that have different skill sets is that scenarios, different situations, having everybody that does the exact same thing, once they figure that out, you can run into an issue where you're nullified, you know? So having guys with different skill sets that you can rotate in and stuff is a good deal. But when you're looking for your starter, the guy that you want in there, most of the time, maybe you want to pin your ears back kind of guy.
We got Chris Bucco dropping in with super chat. Says, Mafe and McBride in the second, please, and thanks. That would be fantastic. I would be all about this. Mafe, I think he was projected to be a 3rd-round pick, and after his Senior Bowl, everyone's thinking his stock's going up a little bit. Do you think he's top of the 2nd round, Green Bean? I know you're excited.
Oh, I don't know yet. I mean, I haven't seen too much of like impact. Like I haven't like felt it yet. I think that day we were watching it, it felt like, holy shit, this guy came out of the dark, so to speak, and looked like he could even catapult himself to the end of the first. That's what it looked like. But it's the Senior Bowl. You know what I mean? It's not like, let's wait and see the combine and stuff. But I would say, man, like if the Jets don't get their edge rusher, like let's say they're targeting Thibodeau and Hutchinson, they don't like Karlaftis and Ojabo that much more than a Mafe, maybe you switch gears and get a different position and then grab him in the second, like Chris is talking about. I think that would be an interesting way to go about it, because the second tier of edge rusher guys like Jermaine Johnson, what's the other guy I was thinking about? Cameron, what the hell's his name? And Boye Mafe, I think they could be really, really impactful gets in the second or even the third. But yeah, I think he definitely helped his draft stock. That guy's exciting, man. Really is.
Matt, any thoughts on McBride or Mafe?
McBride, I love. I hope he's there at 35 with all his stock rising. Mafe, I know that he had a really good Senior Bowl week. I didn't know a ton about him beforehand. Obviously, I think his stock is rising. I don't know if he is top 40 pick worthy, so I'm going to have to look into it a little bit more.
Well, Matt, what do you think? What do you guys think of this? I'm saying it to Matt because his boy is going to ruin our damn plans. What do you think about McDaniel maybe taking our boy Trey McBride at 29? Miami picks at 29, and he's going to want his Kittle. You know he is. You know he is. You think he's going to steal him?
You don't think they try to keep 𝐒𝐿zicki at all, or you think I know 𝐒𝐿zicki removed all the Dolphin stuff off his profile. So that's the move.
And he can't block, and you know that
right. Different.
Yeah, McDaniel's going to want to run the ball. I'm so upset about that, man. Like of course he goes to a rival. Like that just sucks.
Did you hear what they're calling him down there?
What?
Bong Shula.
Oh, man.
I love it. He looks like such a stoner. I love it.
No.
It sucks because like I don't want to hate the guy, but like I want to hate the guy because he's a Dolphin coach. I wish him nothing but the least amount of success possible. Yes.
Right. Right. So I know it's, you know what, I'm used to it. Like we love players in the draft and they go to the Bills or they go to where, you know, the Dolphins were. And I have become pretty proficient at instantaneously hating guys that minutes earlier I loved, you know, so I can hate them. I can hate them quick.
Flip the light switch. I love it.
That switch. Yeah. I got to
especially if he takes McBride, shit, I'll hate him good.
That would be frustrating. I wonder if that's in the back of their mind now. Like, do they like McBride enough to because what are they, 29 is what you said?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think if you were to give up our 2nd round pick and our 4th round pick, that actually does get you up high enough to kind of leapfrog them. I think it's pick 29 is what you would technically get up to with that. So maybe you throw in something else in there. Mims, we'll give him Mims. Throw in, it's free.
Yeah. Well, interestingly, Green Bay is at 28. So maybe maybe we call the LaFleur brother, the LaFleur brother connection. We call him and say, dude, please give us this one. You know what I mean? Who knows?
You could sit next to whoever you want at Thanksgiving. Just give us the tight end. Come on.
Right. We need this one. We need it. He's going to steal him from us. Let us get him.
Forget all the shit I talked about at Christmas. I'm sorry. Yeah. I didn't mean to not get you a good Secret Santa gift.
Right. Exactly.
V-Man drops in with super chat. V-Man says, anyone see the Patriots bringing the Giants prevent offense by hiring Joe Judge as an offensive assistant, QB sneak on 3rd and 9 for Pats fans? I would love nothing more than to see a horrible offense now that McDaniels is gone. It would really make me feel good. I'm not going to lie. There's a little part of me that was like mildly concerned that Adam Gase might go there and just make me eat all my words because he just wants a statue of a quarterback. He tried to turn Sam into a statue and now Mac Jones is a statue. And then I don't know. The Patriots are just good. So for all I know, it's going to wind up being like Adam Gase and just making me sad all the time. But yeah, no, I'm happy they got Judge and hopefully they have a stale offense. Green Bean, any thoughts on Judge going to the Patriots?
So he went back to the Patriots. Yeah, it's where he came from. No, hey, good for him. Well, that's the thing. These guys that were Patriots coaches, a lot of them, when they go out and fail, they come back and just settle into their Patriots, warm blanket. And I think that's kind of one of the things I thought was very possible. Who else is going to deal with Joe Judge's bullshit except the guy who created him? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the best part is, wasn't Judge a special teams coach? So you're just taking a special teams coach and making him an offense assistant. I love it.
Oh, it's fantastic.
That's good too. But then it takes the Gase thing. I got to say, man, there's one piece of me, a large piece that's good. Hire Gase. The other piece is Gase in an offensive assistant role has done well. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I would just hate to have to face that every week, and with him not having to deal with the whole coaching, the whole team and everything, actually being the guy that beats us. I would hate that, I think. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little scared. Am I off base?
No, you're right on. You're on par for the course, because I would absolutely be nervous if Gase went there. As much as I want to make jokes about it and everything, I am definitely concerned. Because anytime you wind up bringing in someone who played for a division rival, that's why I'm big on a J.C. Jackson or maybe a 𝐒𝐿𝐫𝐞𝐞 or something like that, because they're going to have a little more juice to that matchup. And I think, Adam Gase and a coach is no different in that respect. Let's see. Adam S. drops in with a super chat. He says, if the Bengals win, then we beat the Super Bowl champs. Champs. Words. Yeah, right. See, glass half full, my friend. If the Rams win, we beat the Rams last year.
That's right.
To ruin our Trevor Lawrence chances.
Yeah, they're the ones that ruined the tank. Bastards.
Yeah.
That was a mistake.
For those of you guys that haven't voted, sorry, real quick. There's a pinned poll in the live chat for who wins the Super Bowl. The Rams are currently the winner at 61%. Bengals are at 39%. We'll see as people vote what that winds up looking like. But we'll see. Greenman, I'm sorry I cut you off right there.
Oh, I don't remember. I would think I was just commenting on something Matt said. I was just in agreement, but I don't remember what it was.
It was that the losing or beating the Rams last year sucked.
Oh, right on. Hey, remember it was Braden Mann that made that tackle? Mm-hmm. They were running it back, and then Braden Mann, I was like, come on. Yeah, what is that? Our punter?
Oh God,
that was miserable.
So fired up. It's gonna work out for the better.
It is, and we fully embraced the tank at that point. I mean, at least us. I can't speak for all Jets fans. I know many of them were, but us, we were like, oh yeah, it's tank time. We were in.
We were down bad. I feel like just our Jets fan mental health stock was just done. We were like, fuck this, burn it to the ground. It's over. Yeah.
Dude, I made Arnold. I made a whole video why it was our right to have the worst record in NFL history. Like I wanted it to be worse than the Browns. That's where I was, right? It's like we deserve this. It's ours. Like that's what I was talking about back then. Oh my God, we were a mess.
I love it. I love it. It's just thinking back to last year. It's not all that different from like the little bit of despair we had at the end of this season, but at least you had hope because it was a new coaching staff. You saw the pieces starting to get better. Last year was rough though. That was not fun. All right. I'm trying to pull up a draft profile for 𝐒𝐫𝐞𝐞𝐬. Thomas Cahill says, are we forgetting about 𝐒𝐫𝐞𝐞𝐬 or 𝐒𝐫𝐞𝐞𝐬? I don't know how to pronounce his name. The edge rusher.
From Penn State.
No, we're not forgetting about him. He's I think he's talked about as the like top 7 of the edge rushers, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have Daniel Jeremiah
guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably like an early second round guy, I feel like.
Yeah, if we don't go edge rusher in the first and he's sitting there and you like him, I'm all right with it. You won't hear anything from me.
Yeah, he played in the Senior Bowl. I don't recall him having too much of an impact. I might be wrong. There were some guys that absolutely dominated on the defensive line, and I don't believe he was one of them. So I like him, but I mean, as far as the noise this week, I mean, I think it's rightfully so on a different group of players. I mean, that made some, made an impact this week. So let them have their week. But I think 𝐒𝐫𝐞𝐞𝐬 is 𝐒𝐫𝐞𝐬 is in the conversation. Yeah, exactly.
We'll call him Scrabble. Jack Filipowski, thank you so much for the super chat, says, is the versatility of 𝐒𝐿 higher than Tib with a deep edge class? If we go Thibodeau, I think there is a need to grab Zion, trade for Demario Davis. Also, Moore is giving me OBJ vibes. No, Elijah Moore has not hit OBJ level. Like I get, you're looking at the posts and everything, but it's not bad. It's off season. Let him have fun. Until he does something silly on the field and pisses everyone off, I'm 100%.
What do you feel?
Nah, I don't know if this is what he's talking about, but he very much is posting like pictures with him and Michael Carter, which if you guys haven't seen the Michael Carter like Super Bowl thing with the him talking about his promo with The Rock, or not with The Rock, instead of The Rock, very, very funny. I'll see if I could actually, I don't know if I pulled it up. Let's see if I could share that. I think I saved it. So I'll pull it up for you guys that haven't seen it. But okay, is 𝐒𝐿's versatility greater than Thibodeau at 4 because of how deep the edge class is? Put it this way, I would feel more comfortable taking 𝐒𝐿 and drafting Jermaine Johnson at 10 than taking, say, Thibodeau and hoping that one of the offensive linemen falls to 10 that I really like. I mean, if Linderbaum's there at 10 after taking Thibodeau, I'd probably pull the trigger on that. I don't know. How do you feel about that, Matt?
It's a very difficult conversation because I think you can make very good points on either side. I think I'm probably taking Thibodeau at that point and trying to figure out offensive line later, which is kind of ironic because I've been, preaching like help Zach, let's make life easy for a young quarterback. But I feel like there's caveats to everything, and a player like Thibodeau being there, who was supposed to be the number 1 pick just a few weeks ago, kind of changes things.
Green Bean, what about you? How are you feeling about the versatility of 𝐒𝐿 versus someone like Thibodeau?
Yeah, I mean, isn't it interesting? Like we already saw the season. We saw what Thibodeau can do for the last few years. We loved him as a number 1 overall pick. And then now he says a couple words in an interview. And now there's a little bit of rumblings of, hey, maybe he's this, maybe his motor isn't as well as, as nonstop as you'd like. And all of a sudden we're talking about passing on him. If he should somehow slip from the first overall pick to number 4, we're talking about passing on him, which is interesting to me. Now, the only thing I would say is that it all comes down to Joe Douglas and his crew with their interviews of him and their interviews of his coaches, getting the real deal on who this guy is, because that's the most important thing. We know he's super talented, but Vernon Golston was super talented. The guy looked like he was cut out of stone. He was dominating at times for Ohio State. We got him. Nothing, but that was the word on him. The word was he's probably, the word was that he has high bust potential. but they couldn't overlook the talent. So is Thibodeau one of those? And I think Joe Douglas and his team have to be really thorough with their interview. If he's there and they like the interviews, I say it's a slam dunk. And then you just have to look at the drop-off between Thibodeau to the next edge rusher versus the drop-off between 𝐒𝐿 and the next tackle. So if you like Trevor Penning and Charles Cross and Kirkland, whoever's there, almost as much as 𝐒𝐿, then that solves your problem. But if you don't, just like them with Elijah Vera-Tucker, they liked no one anywhere near as much as they liked Elijah Vera-Tucker, so they wanted him. They took him. So I think that's the conversation, really. But it's interesting how these guys drop, man. Thibodeau, it's amazing. We're talking about passing on him at 4. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, I mean, put it this way. If we wind up going Thibodeau at 4, and then you wind up, say, taking a wide receiver at 10 because you don't like the lineman, I would go, like Jack says here, grab Zion Johnson out of Boston College in the 2nd round. He could play guard. He started taking a few snaps at center. I would love to have Demario Davis back. I don't know if I want to trade for him. I'd rather go out and get a free agent linebacker. But yeah, Jack, I like what your head's at. I pulled up that video of Michael Carter. So for those of you guys that haven't seen it, I'll play it right now. It's pretty good.
Thanks, paid for doing that little pregame hype stuff.
Yeah.
Man, what's up?
What's
up?
Man, hit me on.
I feel like I could do something similar to that.
Could you give it to the Rams or the Bengals? How about just give a little something? A little hype speech. What you got? Audition tape.
Sunday night. Super Bowl weekend. Rams, Bengals, Burrow, Stafford, Odell, Chase. It all comes down to this. Super Bowl 56.
That's it.
I love Michael Carter.
Really like Michael Carter a lot.
Love him.
Oh man, he's just like between him and like Elijah Moore, like it feels like the Jets are getting fun again, and I really like that. I really do.
Well, there's likable players on this team, which wasn't necessarily the case, especially in some of the Gase years where Adams was kind of being a dick and Le'Veon was kind of being a dick. So,
it's been. Thank you so much for becoming the newest member of the channel, brother. Thank you so much. Guys, drop some JETS in the chat for our newest member. It's been always appreciated. Sorry if I cut you off. I got excited.
No, you're good.
All right. What other super chats are they going through? Jake has one. Where'd it go? There it is. Jake from State Farm says, speaking of Pat, did Bill send that text on purpose, or do you think that, or you think the most anal man in football did it by mistake? I think he did it by mistake. I think that's what it was. I don't think this is something that he would. Look, Flores was on his staff. He obviously wants him to do well too, or at least I would assume so. Now, maybe with Flores possibly saying like, hey, because of this is, discrimination or whatever. I think Bill probably just made a stupid mistake. He thought he was texting Daboll, and he texted the wrong guy. He's got close ties with the Giants. He obviously knows the Bills from being in the division. So he's been in the league for 35 years now or whatever. So he's got plenty of connections. It's just an oops, I think. What about you guys? You think it was an oops, or you think he did this on purpose, Matt?
I think it was a boomer moment. He's an old person with a cell phone.
Green Bean, what about you?
Just to be clear, I want everyone to know I am not a boomer. All right.
No.
So people say, hey, I know you didn't say that, but I'm just bracing.
It felt like you were laying it pretty thick, Matt.
No, that wasn't.
Yeah.
He's a Gen X.
No, and that's right. I'm a Gen X for sure. But I don't think it was on purpose. I think Matt nailed it. He's that, he made a mistake. There are two Brian's in his phone, and he didn't know that, it could go to the wrong guy. He probably still was like, wait, what happened? What are you talking about? But the concern is, why did he know? I know, like Ryan said, he's inside the circles and he knows people. I get it. But why are you still interviewing coaches if you made the decision and then telling people outside of the organization? I think that there's more to be revealed there. And I think it's an ugly situation. And if I was Brian Flores, I would be hurt. That's probably in many respects, that's his mentor. congratulating someone else while he's still interviewing for the job. So there are layers to that, and my feelings would be pretty torn apart. So I understand him being upset, but I think it's not on purpose, but it's definitely a big boo-boo that can open the door to a bunch of bigger boo-boos that are going on all the time.
James Conca, thank you for the super chat. Brother says, I know Ryan saw this new mock post Senior Bowl. So this is, I believe he's talking about Bengals mock draft. Matt and I touched on this briefly earlier, but he has, so the top three went 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐻 1, Malik Willis 2, Evan Neal 3, the Jets getting Hutchinson at 4, taking Derek Stingley at 10. And I guess I didn't watch enough of it because I didn't know Raymond and Olave were, I guess, there as well. I guess in the second round, maybe he did 2 rounds. I didn't realize that. He says he still wants tight end and would rather Sauce Gardner, but this would be A-okay by him. Yeah, if we could wind up with Hutchinson after like being so upset that we wound up winning a meaningless game at some point towards the end of the season, that's a home run. I too do not like Stingley. I would prefer Sauce. And then I don't know who's Raymond. What position?
Offensive tackle, supposedly. I just Googled it because I didn't know.
I was going to say, I definitely do not know his name yet. And Olave, I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. I am deathly afraid of Olave. I do not want Olave. So the Ohio State receivers scare me. Like, I can get on board with Garrett Wilson just because I've watched more and more of him. Olave, even last year, I wasn't like super thrilled, like if he were going to come out. I don't know. I can't pin it down exactly, but I don't love the Ohio State wide receivers. Maybe that's just, a bias that I have, but is there something that you like about Olave that I should be looking towards, Matt?
No, like I'm not saying he's probably not even in my, maybe he's my 5th receiver in this draft class, but I don't know. I was just surprised to hear that. I haven't heard too many people who are like not Olave guys, or I don't know. I feel like most people are like neutral on him.
Okay, maybe that's where I should say I am, because I have not put this through my noodle at all as like this even being an option, because I'm not taking him at 10 and he shouldn't be available at 35. Like, that's kind of my thinking on this. Like, I've been looking at Dotson or like Bell or, a Jameson Williams that falls or something like that. I haven't really considered Olave, but I still stand by my point. I still think Ohio State receivers scare me. Green Bean, what about you? How are you feeling about Olave?
I like Olave. Maybe, I'm not really the biggest supporter of a receiver in the first in this year's draft. And the reason being, like I said a few times, when you look at this crop of receivers, like just put them next to the last 2 years of first round wide receivers. And a lot of them wouldn't push those guys out of their first position, like, Judy, Lamb, Chase, those kinds of guys. So I'm okay. I'd like to get a receiver in the draft, but I'm not the biggest fan of using our first. If they like somebody, I'm fine with it, of course, but I that's not the route I'm hoping that they go. But Olave, to me, is somebody that I like. I mean, he's had numerous years of production. We liked him last year when he chose to stay back in school. It sent a little ripple, through the draft class. I mean, he was being talked about in that mix. So I guess it's just like you said. I mean, Ohio State is weird with the system that they want, that they run. We don't see as much of the flashy stuff with their skill guys. But look at like Michigan does the same thing. And a guy that I liked for a couple years was Donovan Peoples-Jones. Same thing. When you look at his production, if you just look at the numbers, you're like, oh, this guy does nothing. But it's their offense. The guy proved within that offense he's electric, super athletic. And then he made it all the way till the 7th, I think it was. It's fucking 7th round, Donovan Peoples-Jones. And Cleveland got a stud. And, so anyway, I think Olave would be a good get. I wouldn't use a first on him, though.
Edward Ziff drops in with the super chat, says, number 4, 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐻, number 10, Linderbaum, trade 38 and 4th round pick to go up to pick 19 to get McBride. Now O-line is finished. Use 2023 draft on defense. Team is rebuilt. You are not getting up from pick 38 with a 4th round pick to go up to number 19. I'm telling you that right now. At best, the Jets' 4th round pick will be pick 102, but it's going to be a lot lower than that because they haven't added the comp picks yet. So 92 points for pick 102. 38 is worth 520. So that puts you at about 610, 622. That basically gets you to pick 30, one pick behind Miami, which is where we're projecting McBride to go. So you'd have to give up a little bit more than what you're looking at to possibly slide in front of Miami. But 𝐒𝐿 and Linderbaum, I've had a few people ask me about the double dip on the offensive line, and it's funny because I have a lot of Giant fan friends as well, and I can stand behind the Giants doing that, but I don't want the Jets to do it. And I think our offensive lines are in totally different spots right now. Like I very much want an edge rusher because we haven't had one in the longest time, and I want one offensive lineman that gives me protection or at least some versatility in case Becton winds up flopping. Matt, what are your thoughts on double dipping O-line?
Where are these guys going to play?
That's right. Like, where's McGovern going to play? If you take 𝐒𝐿 and you put him at right guard, now you draft Linderbaum. I guess you cut McGovern, right? Like, he saves $9 or $10 million. I wouldn't have thought that, but
I guess I don't think I would do that though, based off of last year. Which, again, at 6 months ago, okay, I would have been on board with this. But the offensive line got better and they improved when they gelled a little bit more. So I'm not taking 2 offensive linemen. I'm sorry. I would love McBride, but I don't think you're going to be trading up to 19 in order to get him. 𝐒𝐿, sure. Linderbaum, I don't think is going to be a Jet.
Green Bean, what about you? What do you think about double dipping O-line?
Double dipping that high, huh? Both first round picks. Yeah, that's I mean, look, if the Jets just decided we're done playing games, we're tired of talking about it, we're getting the offensive line done now, we're getting it done in a big way, we're making a statement, and Zach's never getting touched again, and they did that, I would be like, okay, I get it. I understand. Now, am I hoping they do that? No, I'm not. I would like to see the wealth spread around the team a little bit more. As you guys know, I'm kind of leaning defense because of the strength of the draft and all that sort of stuff. But if they decided to do it, I would not necessarily be upset. Now, if they used 1 first on offensive lineman and then like the 3rd, you take an Alec Lindstrom, or you take one of the, another guard, 𝐒𝐫𝐞𝐬𝐫𝐞𝐬, somebody like that, and you get guys kind of working on this team that you feel good about and that can take over in a year, 2 years. So then when a guy leaves or you need a replacement, he's already on your team and knows the system, and that's the optimal situation. That's what you really want. So I'm hoping that they take more than 1 offensive lineman in the draft, but up top, I would be surprised and not disappointed, but I don't know. I wouldn't advise
disappointed.
Okay.
It
does.
It does
sound
disappointed. But no, I would to some sort of an extent. I would be disappointed because offensive lineman is not a sexy pick. I want it, but it's not sexy like the receiver. Like when we were taking Becton, I was like, man, I really want CeeDee Lamb. I want the pick like so bad, but I know it should be Becton. It needs to be the tackle. I don't know. I would not sign off on 2 offensive linemen in the top 10. I think you go 1 trench and then you go the other trench. And I think that's the best way to handle the top 10. K Delgado, thank you so much for the super chat. I don't see a question attached to it, so I'm just going to say thank you, and we're going to move on our merry little way here. Let's see. Joe Grana, thank you so much for the super chat. Says dream draft: Hutchinson, Burks, Zion Johnson, Trey McBride, Leon O'Neal, a safety. Thank you for adding safety because I did not know who Leon O'Neal was at that point. Yeah, this is really nice. I would take this in a heartbeat. You get the edge rusher, you get the stud receiver that could be your Deebo Samuel. You get a guy that can play. Guard initially, and then when McGovern leaves, maybe you decide to make him the center, or you at least have the flexibility of him potentially moving over to that spot. You get Trey McBride, which I love, and then Leon O'Neal. We need safety help anyway. So, yeah, I'm on board with this. Matt, how are you feeling about this offseason?
That would be nice. I would sign up for that in a second. Like you said, you land a premier edge. You got a nice wide receiver. You find a tight end and offensive lineman in the 2nd round. Grab a safety after that. That sounds like a good plan to me.
Green Bean, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, that's a slam dunk. I couldn't complain about that draft. If you get Hutchinson and Burks in the 1st round, I'm going to cheer. Follow that with Zion Johnson, Trey McBride, and Leon O'Neal, who's a thumper. That'd be good.
If you guys have not hung out with us on draft night, if you have just found this channel and this stream, like since the football season started, we go live for all 3 days of the draft, and it is friggin' wild. It is so much fun having the energy of the entire chat and like fan base. Cause like we're sitting here and we're slightly delayed. So we're watching the draft, and like as the Jets pick comes up, we're like, okay, we're going to look away from the chat, but then you see the numbers in the stream start flying through the roof and the chat starts screaming and we're like, oh God, something happened. What's going on? And then it happens. And it's just, oh, it's so nice. The draft is probably my favorite time of year.
Yeah, me too. Well, especially then you get, go on, Matt, go on.
No, I was just going to say, especially on this stream.
Yeah, because you get our initial unfiltered reactions. I mean, you get it. You see it. You see us learn what the Jason Pinnock. We're like, what? You know, right
Who the
there.
hell is that?
Last year, Ryan went to the bathroom.
I was in the bathroom for the trade
up, and we're like, Ryan, come back.
Ryan, are you there? I went in. I'm like, I go to the bathroom. I was like, I'll stop and see Becca. I'll say, hey, what's up? Like, oh, I love you so much. I'll see you later after the stream. I come back and I'm like, oh my God, we traded up.
Yeah.
And I go back and I watch the stream and I see the two of you guys chirping back and forth. It was
that was good. That's fun.
It was really
you
good.
guys should be here. I mean, we get there's like over 1,000 people in here, right? It's great.
Yeah. I think we went over. We might have went over 2 last year. It was we had a lot.
Incredible.
Let's see. I'm just picking some qualifiers. Guys, make sure you hit that like button on the way in. Every 25 likes we get on this stream, we're going to pick a qualifier for our t-shirt giveaway at the end of the stream. We have Marist Old Boys, Red Dog, Nick H, and Edward Ziff as our 4 qualifiers right now. I have Nightbot picking our 5th qualifier. And, I get to pick a 6th qualifier, too, because we went over the 150 threshold. It's Vin. It's Vin. Our newest member of the channel is now qualified for our t-shirt giveaway. That's kind of cool. I like that. Makes me feel good. Edward Ziff gets entered again, but that's not happening. Sorry, Edward. Love you, but we're picking another winner.
So that's how you say that, huh? It's Vin. I've been saying yoits the whole time.
Yoits Vin. I mean, I'm looking at it and I was like, it's Vin. That's how I'm going with it. I'm assuming that's what it is, but I don't know if it's Vin. Let us know if that's actually how you pronounce it. Otherwise, we'll try to pronounce it correctly.
Yoits.
It looks like I think it's obviously. Got qualified as well for our t-shirt giveaway.
Nice, congrats.
Not too shabby. Okay, I saw. Where did the super chat go? I had it right here. It was 118 Paris. There we go. All right. 1189 Paris, thank you for the super chat. Says, how do the Jets realistically fix the worst defense in the NFL through free agency this offseason? I can answer this right now. Look at how the 49ers performed once they got Nick Bosa. They were a mid to late 20s defense the first 2 years under Robert Saleh. They get Nick Bosa, they jump up to number 8. We're going to get Carl Lawson back. We're going to add another edge rusher. We are going to have a much better defense next year, purely based on health alone. In addition to all the offseason acquisitions, I think we need to add a linebacker. I think we need to add a safety, whether it be Jesse Bates, Marcus Williams, Justin Reed, someone like that in free agency, I think would be really good. Matt brought up a bunch of good edge rushers. I would love to get a veteran edge personally, so that way you have it, you're in a position where you're not, like, I don't want to sign like a B-rate edge in free agency for more money than they should get. I'd rather sign a vet for maybe a little bit more on a 1 or 2 year deal and then draft our guy this year. I've always said I like the balance. Like, you bring in George Fant, you draft Mekhi Becton. You bring in Corey Davis, you draft Elijah Moore. In this situation, you have Carl Lawson on the roster, you draft Kayvon Thibodeau, you draft Aiden Hutchinson, you draft Jermaine Johnson, whatever it is. So I think the Jets will have a better defense purely based on health alone, but I do think there's a lot we can do that will impact this team, even without having like some really big names hitting this defense. Matt, what are your thoughts on free agency on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I do think free agency is going to be a big factor in rebuilding this team. I mean, we mentioned earlier talking about the safeties, with the amount of safeties that are going to hit the market. I think they'll try to take one of those guys. A linebacker, I think they could be active in. Maybe a Zadarius or Preston Smith becomes available from the Packers with their cap situation. So the Jets have a rare opportunity here with not the most amount of cap space, but with a good amount of cap space and probably the best draft capital this year. Maybe the Eagles are right up there with 3 first-rounders, but I just love the situation they put themselves in with both the cap and, your draft assets. So I don't think it has to be one or the other. I think you can improve both offensively and defensively this offseason.
Guys, before I jump over to Green Bean's thoughts real quick, I want to thank Jerome Strax for becoming the newest member of the Jets Talk 24/7 family. He actually upgraded his tier. He's been a member for a while now. He upgraded to the, the frequent flyer? I think you're a frequent flyer. That's what popped up. Yeah. So thank you so much. It really means a lot that you're supporting the channel. And then we had, we'll go back to that in just a second, but Mike Henson dropped in with a super chat. Thank you, Mike. He says, love your guys' shows. Thank you. We love when you hang out with us. This is like, I legitimately look forward to Tuesday nights every single week. It's like Matt says, it's Jets therapy. Yeah, and we don't charge anything. This is on a free open broadcast. You guys can tune in whenever you want. It's fantastic. All right. Let me go back to that other super chat so we could just touch on Green Bean's thoughts. Where did it go? Bam. All right, Green Bean, how would you realistically fix the Jets defense through free agency?
Well, Robert Saleh did say that the defensive line is the one position that takes everything away on the offense. It can take everybody away. So I think that's the route they're going to go. You touched on it with Bosa. Look, we tried to get Carl Lawson in here. We tried to bring Vinny Curry in here to kind of be ahead of some of the young guys that we had. Then the young guys got catapulted like Bryce Huff, and then they got worn down and injured because I think Bryce Huff isn't an every down player most likely. Probably going to be more of a situational guy. And I think in that capacity, he can be very impactful. I think he's got a lot of the chops, but maybe not an every down guy. But so I think, dude, going out there, getting a vet edge, you got guys, maybe not the, you don't want to blow their doors off with like the biggest free agent guy or anything, but like, Chandler Jones is out there. I know Derek Barnett is out there. There's Jadeveon Clowney is out there. He's still only 28 years old, man. I feel like the guy's been in the league since the 70s. I don't know what it is. I feel like he's been around forever, but he's still out there. So maybe they go that route. But I think using one of our first round picks on the best edge rusher on your board, if that's somebody that everybody else is projecting to be a second rounder, just get the best possible edge rusher that you can do for your team. Pair him with Carl Lawson, get a vet in here, get your rotation going, and go about it that way. I just like Matt said, I think we can do a lot of damage in the draft, but I do think bringing in as a vet safety, maybe a vet cornerback to pair with our young defensive back group. It's young back there, man. Bringing in some vets to that group, I think would be really, really positive. I love Marcus Williams. I like Reed. There's a few guys out there. Even like Jabril Peppers. I don't know. I think he might have gotten an injury. I got to look again.
He got an Achilles, I think.
I'm sure. So maybe not, but we got enough friggin' Achilles going around.
I mean, get him for cheap. Cam Akers came back nice. Who knows? Maybe it's not the injury it once was.
Yeah, it's definitely not the injury it once was, but who knows? But I think that we should definitely be looking to at least take some of the stress off the draft with free agency. But don't forget, guys, this is a very top-heavy defensive strength draft. So getting some of, like, we have 4 top 40 picks. Using some of those to get the best bang for your buck defensively, I think would be smart, man. I know everybody wants to fix the offense. So do I. But the strength is defense. So I say we go and get some of them after we help it out a little bit in free agency.
Jake drops in the super chat, says, I'll be back draft day. Better than listening to Mel. Yes. See, look, you get to hang out with us. We're cracking beers. We're hanging out and just having a good time. Answer a bunch of questions. Get excited about other picks. We blow our minds when people take Jordan Love in the draft. It's like, what? Ugh, crazy. Guys, I did just add Jets Forever to our qualifier. Make sure you hit that like button on the way in. For every 25 likes, we're going to pick a qualifier for our t-shirt giveaway at the end of the stream. And if you're watching this after the fact, make sure you comment on the video down below. And if you don't want to kill your phone battery in the future, all these are uploaded to podcast form for you to download from your favorite podcast provider. Thomas Cahill drops in with another super chat. Thomas says, Asamoah and Luketa in the mid rounds. I don't know either of these guys yet. Do either of you guys know? It's hard for me not to say Asamoah, but maybe it is pronounced the same way. I don't know. No, it probably isn't. Matt, what are your thoughts on these guys?
Not a clue. Don't
Solid. Green Bean, your thoughts?
Matt, this is the guy that we got at the end of the draft last night. Luketa. This is our boy. This is the guy. He's a fan. No, Luketa. Remember at the end? Maybe he was not our final pick. One of the last two picks. He was.
Oh yeah.
This is our guy. So, but anyway, no, Asamoah did a good job in the Senior Bowl. He played a lot, but I think Muma overshadowed him without question. I mean, that guy raised his draft stock. But Asamoah is another one, man. I mean, he's got some good skills. He's known to be intelligent in addition to being, he's not afraid to lay the wood. So yeah, I think he's good. He's probably a mid, maybe like a fourth. I think maybe fourth round, fifth round pick, one of those guys, because there are a lot of linebackers that are looking like they're significantly entrenched before him. So I like Asamoah, and if we double dip or something like that, I'd hate to leave the draft with only grabbing Asamoah. That wouldn't feel like we did the job. But he's a guy that you can bring on, let him play specials for a year or two, and then kind of fold him in as the Quincy Williams leave and all that sort of stuff. I think that would be a good route to go. But I'd hate it if he was the only linebacker we brought in the draft.
Our newest member of the channel, 𝐿𝐴H𝐿𝐴 drops in with super chat, says thoughts on who backup quarterback should be for next year. I don't know if this is a little bit of a hot take or not. Maybe it's not. I'm okay with not bringing back Mike White. It's like I would be fine bringing him back too. I want to preface it with that. But I think that the veteran presence in whether it be Flacco or some other quarterback is more valuable than what Mike White provides. And hear me out on this. Flacco, White, and Josh Johnson all had phenomenal games for the Jets last year, passing-wise. And then you see the Jets staff go down to the Senior Bowl, and Pickett goes a perfect 6 of 6. I think this offense and the way our coaching staff teaches it gets the most out of your quarterback. So if you had to put me up against the wall and say, hey, are you bringing Mike White back? Maybe there's a possibility I don't. If they think that there could be some type of accidental rift in the locker room between people that might want Mike White, people that might want Zach Wilson. I don't know if that's the case, but I'm not as beat up. I'm not as pro Mike White as I once was, I think. And it's not
at
that
1
I'm
week.
negative. Yeah, well, it's not that I'm negative on him either. Like I have no problem. You want to bring him back for $4 million a year because I think that's the second round or original round tender, whatever it is. I'm fine with that. No problem whatsoever. But if they decide to go a different route, I'm okay with that too. I'm not concerned about the backup quarterback as much, except for the veteran presence that could help Zach. Matt, your thoughts?
If they don't bring back Mike White, I am flipping the table. That's it. I'm quitting YouTube.
I'm a Patriots fan now.
Yeah, it's over for me. How dare you not bring back Mike effing White? Look, it's if they bring him back, I'm with you. If they bring him back, fine. If he walks, okay, resign Joe Flacco for another year, the veteran minimum, and you're on your way.
Green Bean, what about you? Who you want for backup quarterback next year?
Well, remember we talked so much about the Jets need to sign a vet backup and all this kind of stuff, and then even though we had one on the roster the entire year, we made a big deal about it, and then we went and got Flacco, the little panic move or whatever that was, and then Mike White came out and showed that in a small little sample size capacity, maybe he can come in and win a game or two if Zach gets a twisted ankle or something like that. So I would love to see our room. I saw it in the chat. I forget who said it. It said our quarterback room is It is Jets Forever says Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco, Mike White. That's our quarterback room. I think I would like that. I think that's a good quarterback room. It's kind of spread over the generations. You know, Mike White is in his 5th year. Zach is going in his 2nd. Joe Flacco's going into his 15th or 16th year. Yeah, exactly. So I think that would make me happy. But if it's not Flacco and they decide to bring in another guy or something, if they go in it with Zach Wilson and Mike White after what we saw, okay. I think I'd prefer to go maybe bring in another guy, but I wouldn't be distraught if they decided, hey, we're going to have a young quarterback room. They both played and won in the NFL, and we're going to do that. So I don't know. I think definitely want to keep Mike White around though.
Let's see. K Delgado 62 says Jet Nation mock draft for life. Green Bean, do you know who K Delgado is over on Jet Nation? I have no idea who it is.
K, yeah,
Nation. We love it.
Yeah, K Delgado. Sure thing.
Is that K Delgado on like, I don't know. Is that like a username on Jet Nation? I probably talked to this person before and had no idea.
I think so. Yeah, it all smears together and forgive me. I mean, there are just, you know what I mean? So many interesting
kind of like piece together. Like Sperm Edwards is one of the funniest names I've come across. Oh, it's a fantastic.
That was a good one. Sperm Edwards.
It's a really good one.
But the Jet Nation mock draft for life. I think that's what he's saying. I mean, I don't know if I can do it this year. I've done it the last few years. I mean, it's one of the things I look forward to each year, but it takes it takes focus, man. Like it takes being actively involved. Like you have to watch what's going on, and because the timer goes and they will pick. And last year I missed 2 picks and I felt terrible about it. Like they were giving me a lot of benefit of the doubt. Like, Green Bean's going to be here, like that kind of shit. Yeah. And so anyway, I felt bad. So I might have to back. I did. I felt guilty.
Oh, geez. Let's see. We got Jose. Where's Jose's comment? There it is. Jose drops in the super chat, says, my dream draft, 𝐒𝐿𝐞𝐞, Jermaine Johnson, Jameson Williams, Travis Jones. Ooh, interesting. That would be, could you imagine? Who's Travis Jones? I don't know who Travis Jones is off the top of my head, but if you can get 𝐒𝐿𝐞𝐞 at 4, Jameson, words are Jermaine Johnson at 10. I'm signed up for that all day. And look, if you have to tell me that like we're getting Jameson Williams in the 2nd round and we might have to let him sit for a little bit, I'm kind of okay with that too. Like I'd be pretty pumped on getting him. He was my number 1 receiver before the draft. And I'm not as worried about the ACL. I just don't want to take an injured receiver because I want the immediate impact from week 1 and throughout training camp. But if you're not, competing for a Super Bowl next year, maybe it's not the worst idea. Do you guys know who Travis Jones is?
Well, we just talked about him an hour ago. Did we really? That same guy?
No, I don't think so.
No, this is the UConn defensive tackle. I'm almost positive.
Oh, God, D tackle. I want no part of a D tackle.
I'll tell you what, though. Perion Winfrey, though, man. I don't know.
I don't want a tackle. I don't want a D tackle.
I hear you. Me too. I'm in the same boat, but I watched him dominate the Senior Bowl, and I was like, holy shit, that's a player right there.
This guy had me going in the first half with his first 2 picks, but lost me in the 2nd.
Ooh, would you not take Jameson Williams if he fell to 35?
Not a chance.
Oh God, I would run him to the board. I would be. I mean, if McBride's there, I'd take McBride. But man, I would absolutely. If we did not address wide receiver already, I would absolutely run to the podium with that card. I really like Jameson Williams
and just punt a rookie year off his just gone.
Yeah. You get him halfway through the season. I mean, how is it any different than going? And not that you necessarily want Godwin or Gallup, but it's not different than going after one of those guys. Only you get a cheaper contract for longer.
No, significantly different. He got injured at the very end of the season. They got injured.
Godwin and Gallup got injured. I mean, he got injured probably the 1st or 2nd week in January, where Gallup and Godwin got injured like this, like middle of December ish.
Was it? I thought it was November for Godwin. Anyway, 2 months makes a big deal, but
was Godwin that? I don't think Godwin was that early.
I might be wrong. That's Gallup just in my brain.
Last week of the season.
Gallup was late. I wouldn't sign any of those guys either. I don't know if that makes a difference here, but
it does.
I don't think if your plan is I'm gonna to fix the wide receiver position, I'm gonna draft the injured one. That scares me.
No, but what if that was in conjunction with, say, Allen Robinson in free agency? Does that change your line of thinking?
Not really, because then you're only going to have them both for half a season, right? Because Allen Robinson, I guess, would be a 1-year deal.
Maybe. I mean, Corey Davis only has 1 more year left if we want to move on from him. I mean, he was signed for a 3-year deal, but we could get out of it after next year. So there's no guarantee he's here for 2 more.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I still don't think I would do it. I would want more of a sure
Now,
thing.
Matt, think about it this way. At what round, if Jameson Williams is sitting there, what round are you like, I can't possibly pass this guy up here? Which round is it? Is it the 2nd or 3rd?
Probably 3rd, but I know he's not going to be there in the 3rd round. I just don't want to spend a top 40 pick on someone who might not play half the year.
I think he's going to go 1st round. I don't think he's even there for us in the 2nd. I think like the Chiefs will pull the trigger late.
Right. They can afford to. The Chiefs, Buffalo, like a team who is pretty much in it and just could use a little bit of an extra push. They could afford that gamble. The Jets can't.
I think that is a fair assessment, and that's all right. I hope this doesn't come about because I would want us to make the move, but I know how like bad it would be if we made the move and we couldn't see him for like a nice chunk of time. Brian Regan, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Says, assuming we go either edge or O-line at 4, what would you think about Hamilton if he slips to 10? If he slips to 10 and the Jets have taken, say, 𝐒𝐿 or Neal at 4, I would take him at 10, 100%. And I would try to move up to go get my edge rusher. I think that's probably where I'm at if they really think Hamilton is generational. Although if they think Hamilton's generational, I don't think he makes it to 10. That's the issue I kind of run into. Like if he falls to 10, there's probably a reason why he fell that far. Greenbean, I know you're pretty high on Hamilton, but what are your thoughts on this situation?
Well, I think just to comment on what you just said, if Hamilton falls, it's because desperate teams are reaching for need. I mean, that's what happens up top. You see it all the time. Teams overdrafting quarterbacks. They desperately need an offensive lineman, so they bypass the talent there and they go get, whatever it is. So that could be one of the things, because like we say all the time, the truth is that safety is not quite the impact position of many others, and we call it it's not a premier position, and that's accurate. So if he slides to 10, I would have a hard time passing him up, and I wouldn't look at the reasons. But I also think that the injury thing, they really do have to check and see how healthy is it. Can he perform in the combine? If he can, he's going to blow it out of the park, in my opinion. He's so incredibly athletic that he's going to look fantastic, and that might change things. But if he slid to 10, no matter what I pick at the first pick, like let's say Hutchinson slides and I get my guy, and then I'm sitting there at 10 and fucking Hamilton's there, dude. I got to do it. And then I'll just take, like everybody's saying, I'll take Raymond, I'll take Penning with, my 2nd round pick. If I really want to tackle, I'll take Lindstrom, whatever it is. There are definitely high caliber turnkey starting guards and tackles in the 2nd round. Now, our teams are going to do much more intel on them and deep dives than we do. But at the same time, I think that's generally the case. And that's what I talked about earlier with drop off. Dude, Kyle Hamilton is a stud. I get why people don't want to draft him. I get it 100%. But if he's there at 10, I think, shoosh, you got to take him. Or at least consider.
Yeah, he could help all 3 levels of the defense. I think that's what's so huge. And then you're getting that generational, air quotes, prospect. So I'd be hard-pressed not to take him at that point. Matt, how are you feeling about Hamilton at 10 if he falls there?
Yeah, man. Anytime you have the opportunity to take a generational safety in the top 10, I think you just have to do
it. Someone's tired of being asked.
Is there a layer of sarcasm there?
No. You have to. You got to do it.
You're fucking with me. You absolutely are.
Someone's tired. He's tired of the question. That's all that is. Matt's had it.
Oh God, you can see the steam coming out of his headset.
No, you have to. He's too good.
You are frustrating me, Matt. I want anger. I want upset. That's I see what you're saying. That's all right. Look, I think we're on board with that. I would trade up and try to get my edge rusher then, I think, at that point. Edge rusher is so important. That's why you want to take an edge rusher in free agency. Go after a vet. So that way you can Go 𝐒𝐿 and Hamilton if you can. Just a thought. Sorry, Chris. We're going to go to the other super chat first. Disregard Papa was in here first. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Says, thoughts on 𝐒𝐿, Evan Neal, and Tyler Linderbaum. If you had to choose, which one would you choose? Also, our number 4 pick, should we go all O-line? Yes, I would go offensive line unless one of the top 2 edges is there. I would even consider O-line even with an edge there. I think it's not as easy a conversation as it might have been, 6 months ago when we thought Becton was, a lock to be healthy and everything. If I had to choose between 𝐒𝐿, Neal, and Tyler Linderbaum, I would take 𝐒𝐿. 𝐒𝐿 is my top guy right now. Then I would go Evan Neal, and then I would say Linderbaum. If you go with the edge at 4 and Linderbaum falls to 10, no problem. Run up to the podium, take Linderbaum. It's all right. I think McGovern is not going to be here beyond this year anyway, so I think we have to address center at some point. And if you think this is a generational guy, much like the Hamilton conversation, I'm okay with it. So yeah, I like O-line. Matt, what are your thoughts on the 3 linemen?
I would probably go Neal, 𝐒𝐿, and Linderbaum in that order.
Mm-hmm.
Neal and 𝐒𝐿 are close, but I think Neal's the best offensive lineman in this class. I probably don't want to take center, but if we had to rank them, that's the order I'm going with. But I would take one of Neal or 𝐒𝐿 at 4, and I think one of them will be there.
Green beer went down the wrong pipe. Green Bean, your thoughts?
Well, I'm gonna, after this stream is when I'm doing my top 10 tackle deep dive. Like I've done a lot of, I've done a lot of research on them, but tonight is I'm going to spend some time and actually deep dive into a lot of their, breaking them down a little bit for myself. But so I don't know who I like more of Evan Neal, 𝐒𝐿, and the rest of the top 5, let's say, tackles. I really don't know. I'll go with Matt right now and say I'd go Neal, 𝐒𝐿, Linderbaum. But I feel the same way about center. I'm concerned. But look, if we traded back from 10 or something like that, and we're at 15, 16, and Linderbaum's there, and even if they decide, hey, we want our center for the next 10 years, we grab him at 10. Am I going to be pissed? Probably not. I like the conviction. You know what I mean? Like if we went like Evan Neal, Linderbaum, I'm okay. I get it. And again, I wouldn't necessarily do that myself, but I get it. So I would be happy with it, I think.
I'd like to hear your thoughts after you watch 𝐒𝐿's tape. I really want you to shoot me a text because I watched it and I was like,
okay,
I'm gonna run through a brick wall. Like I want to plant this dude 6 feet deep. Like, oh God, he is violent. He is an angry man. He's a Joe Douglas pick, 100%.
Yeah.
Chris Bradigan drops in with super chat. Chris says, do you guys see the Jets trading up or down with any of the first 4 picks during the draft or trading one for a proven player? I would say we are going to attempt to trade for a proven player, probably wide receiver, but maybe edge. You never know. I would like to see a trade for a receiver. Now, if we don't do that, I could definitely see a trade up. I think going from the 2nd round back into the 1st round is very, very possible. I would love to go from 38, obviously, because I want to keep 35 because it's a little bit higher. But I would love to give up, a 3rd or a 4th round pick. Let's call it a 4th round pick, maybe a little bit more to jump in front of Miami. If you want to get Trey McBride at that point because you're not giving up the 3rd round pick, I'm okay with that. Or if you're like dead set, you're like, hey, this guy is the guy. Like of all the draft picks we could get, we want the tight end to make this offense work. Give up the 3rd, give up the 2nd, move up, go get your guy. I believe in quality over quantity for this particular draft. Like if I were to trade down, like I would love to trade down from 10 and pick up a 1st next year. I don't care about the draft pick this year. If we want to slide back to 18 to 20, whatever, cool with that. Give me 2 firsts next year. I'm way happier. Green Bean, what are your thoughts on trading up or trading down with our first 4 picks?
Well, you know what? I've been thinking a lot about that. People are talking. I think you even mentioned it about like trying to get back into the 1st from pick 35 because it's so close. So, you could use a 4th round pick and get back into that round like towards the end. So if somebody's sliding through I think that would be interesting. As much as I love, 2 picks in almost every round that we have picks, I really do like that. At the same time, if you could use a 4th round pick and then get a 3rd first, and I think that would be a good thing to consider. Now, sliding back, are we talking about sliding back or just trading up?
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah. I think I really want this year to be a year that we are able to pull in some blue chip talent. Like I really do. Like we've said, I want some freaks. I want guys that we can look at on our team and go, yeah, we have the best guy at this, or like we have the best guy in the AFC here, like we had with Revis and some other guys like Mawai, like those kinds of guys. I want that. And I think this draft, we can do that. That said, if somebody came with a door blowing, an offer that blows your hair back for 4, they're giving you 3 firsts and all that kind of stuff because they love somebody, I would probably end up taking that as well. So all depends.
Matt, what about you? How you feeling about trade up, trade down?
Trading back from 10, I think, is your most likely situation. I'd be surprised if they moved up. I don't think they're going to do that. I feel like they want to stay at pick 4 because, like Green Bean was saying, you kind of need at least that one blue chip guy. And 10, it depends on how the board falls too. Like, obviously, that's a big factor in it. But if you move back, I don't know, 5 spots, something like that. I don't think I want to move past like 20. I think that's probably about as far back as I would go. But if you could pick up a 2nd and, maybe something else, then I would consider it.
I like it. Michael Elias drops in the super chat, says, if Jameson Williams and McBride are there at 35, you take Williams, hope McBride is there at 38, and then pivot to Ruckert in the 3rd. And if not, then pivot to Ruckert in the 3rd. I like Michael. I like his comments a lot. I really like Jameson Williams. He was my top receiver prior to the injury. So if I can get over the fact that he's going to miss the first half of the season and have, the elite status that I thought he was going to be at, I'm okay with that. I don't know if I would take him over McBride. I think if McBride's there, oh God, man, now you're putting me in a weird situation because I like Ruckert a lot. Do I like Ruckert enough to make him a 2nd round pick? I think I'm probably close to there. I don't know if I'm quite there yet. I probably want to see the combine and I want to see everything else, but it seems like the guy's legit. So Jameson Williams, yeah, okay. You know what? I'll sign up for this. Jameson Williams, McBride at 38. Because what are the chances he goes at 36 and 37, right? I don't know who's picking those picks. Let me look who's picking those picks before I actually make.
Yeah. Hold on. That's exactly what I'm looking at here. Hold on a second.
Okay, so the full order. So it would be, if you take Jameson Williams at 35, then you need McBride to fall past the Giants and Houston at 36 and 37. Do we think the Giants are losing Evan Ingram? So you may want to take McBride before that pick.
Especially if the Giants went edge rusher like they're predicted to in everybody's mocks at 5 or 7. If they address the edge in the first round, then more than likely they're not going to use a 2nd on it too. So you can think that way too. Yeah,
I've seen a lot of people predict. A lot of my friends that are Giant fans have said they're all on board double dipping O-line, and I think they're hoping for Neal or 𝐒𝐿 at 5, which I don't think either one of them's. Well, I shouldn't say either one, but I don't think they're going to be there for them. And then getting like a Linderbaum like that. Those seem like the 2 likely outcomes, whether it be O-line, or O-line edge. And then they could go tight end at 36 sitting there. Matt, what are your thoughts? I know you wouldn't do Jameson Williams, but what are your thoughts on Michael's comment?
Oh, James, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about Jermaine Johnson for some reason. So forgive me.
Jameson Williams.
That's what I was talking about.
If you got Jameson Williams at 35.
No, I'm not taking. I'm with Matt there, man. I'm like 99% with Matt. So sorry. Forgive me. I was talking about a completely different subject.
I'm not gung-ho about it, but if you're telling me I can get my top wide receiver and he's gonna sit out for a little bit, I've watched enough bad football. I could wait 6 more months. I don't know. Right?
I don't know. The Jets don't have the luxury of waiting, which is kind of what I said last time. They have to put some wins on the table. And I'm tired of running out the Jeff Smiths and the Vincent Smiths for weeks on end. I don't think your plan could be we're going to try to fix our wide receiver room by taking a massive gamble in the second round. It should either be I am using that second round pick and trading it for an established wide receiver, or I am taking the best and healthiest receiver at 10 and trying my luck there. I like Jameson Williams a lot. I wanted him to be the pick at 10 before the injury, but again, the Jets aren't the Buffalo Bills. They aren't the Kansas City Chiefs. They're not the Green Bay Packers. They're not teams who can who have talent that can afford to but spend a top 40 pick on a player that is a gamble.
Could have been a top 10 pick. Dude, that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, if you're going to miss him for 6 months, you get an extra first-round pick for taking him in the second round. Like that, dude, that gets me excited. Like, that's how I'm looking. I'm thinking long-term. But the thing that sucks about taking him in the second round versus taking him in the first round, you don't get the fifth-year option. So now you only get 3.5 years of him. So I can understand that being the hesitation.
Yeah.
But I would not be taking Jameson Williams to solve my quarterback room. I'm taking Jameson Williams because I've already taken a free agent wide receiver that I feel comfortable with. Because look, we're going to be running out 12 personnel anyway. We only need 2 receivers. You let one guy sit, you cut Corey Davis, Jameson Williams jumps in next year, you are rocking with him and Elijah Moore.
Maybe.
You could.
Maybe.
Yeah, but the real question is, what about Jermaine Johnson? That's what we're really talking about here.
If you're thinking Jermaine Johnson, if he's there at 35, I'm running to the podium, but I would take him at 10. I think he's going to go up that high. I really do. I was watching some tape on him today. Really good.
Hey, I wanted to point. I want to drag your attention to something. Nightbot is in the chat being weird, and I don't know if Nightbot is angry that you moved on to another helpful little AI. It says the alias
command to be of
does not exist.
Oh no, it's because someone is trying to use commands. So I turn off certain commands.
I thought it was being testy with you. I'm like an angry girlfriend.
We're gonna have a fight between the Streamlabs bot and the Nightbot.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I wish I could get them to fight with each other. That would be fantastic. But I think what's happening is someone's trying to trigger a command that I have not allowed to be triggered. Although I don't think. Oh, see, Matt's trying to pick another winner. I see how it is. Well, that's actually pretty good because I got to pick another winner anyway. So
I'm just
it works out. Let me know who it is. All right. Where was that other super chat? I saw this one come up. Michael V. Basso. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, loved how the Jets staff handled the Senior Bowl. It was a great way for the coaches to evaluate the players. I would like this system for the preseason. Michael, were you listening to me? Because I definitely said this the other day, and I love that idea. If you can take away your head coach and your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator, maybe you allow them to coach it, but whatever. You go into the preseason, we only see 32 head coaches throughout the course of the year. If you're lucky, sometimes if you're lucky, you may get 35 if you get some guys fired mid-season or something like that. But if you were to turn the preseason into an evaluating of players and an evaluating of coaches, with like LaFleur maybe spending a little time as head coach, or maybe it's Ron Middleton spending time as head coach. Because guess what? Him getting more reps at head coach, if someone winds up signing him as their head coach, we get at least a third-round comp pick, and I'm all about that, 100%. If you could promote more growth within the NFL for these coaches, and you get a little more tape on them, and you can see the decisions the decisions they make, I'm all about it. Greenbean, what are your thoughts on how the Jets handled the Senior Bowl and coaches coaching in the preseason?
First, I want to congratulate Matt O'Leary and myself for being the 2 most recent winners of the T-shirt. I'm very excited for us. Yeah. Dude, I think
Matt,
what an incredible
what you're doing with that Pen 15, and I love it. You are as mature as I am, and I think it's fantastic. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Would you like to join the Pen 15 club?
I don't know what the Pen 15 is. Wait, is that naked pen you have?
Oh, no. Well, we could get you in the club using that pen, 100%. But basically, I'm not going to write it on my hand. That's how you do it. All right. So I'm going to show you the Pen 15 club. I'm sorry, my fives kind of look like S's.
Oh, Pen 15.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
with
back
it.
in third grade. I love it. This is fantastic.
Yeah, this is good. That's the stuff we slide by our third grade teacher.
You start making up fake names. That's what I wish I could get fake names from the Nightbot. That would be fantastic.
Well, for
Maybe
many
not.
years,
No.
our term for weed was Fred. So is Fred hanging? Is Fred coming tonight? No, I don't know where Fred is. Okay, I'll try to find Fred.
So you know what we used to do? We used to call hey, my buddy Rich, you want to come over? We're gonna have a chicken and rice dinner. Chicken was alcohol, pot was rice. So you'd be able to talk and text, and it wouldn't matter. You'd be like, oh yeah, getting some rice. I'm having some rice for dinner. Like, okay, we see what's going on.
Hey, you want to hear an interesting one? This is I'm gonna touch.
Ali says he's joining us in 5 minutes, so that's kind of cool.
I'm gonna touch the line here before Ali gets here. But years ago, my drug dealer worked at the local Taco Bell, and he sold cocaine and crack out of the Taco Bell drive-through window. So he would know it was us when we went there. We would order. I forget what it was. It was like Number a burrito. 13. Well, a burrito supreme, like 5 burrito supremes with no this and that. He would know. Or taco. So that was crack. And then 5 taco, whatever it was. I forget the specifics. But then when we pulled up to the window, you'd hand him the cash, you'd hand you a bag, and you were gone. It was fucking.
They had something like that going on in my town, but it was at a Burger King. I don't know if it was for Coke or anything. I'm pretty sure it was for pot, but like sketchy area. Lots of rumors going around in high school.
Yeah, we were, we were bad drug addicts.
Matt, your thoughts on the Senior Bowl and coaches coaching in the preseason?
No, I would like to see the coaches who are actually going to be coaching evaluate the back end of their roster. So I'm going to pass on that.
So do you think the coach would have? I'm of the opinion that I think the coach could have more of a view on the players if he's not focused on calling the plays. Now, maybe he wants to know the plays. I mean, but he could have it scripted, right? Like, I don't know. I like the idea of having coaches coach. Although I don't like the idea of having LaFleur possibly look good in the preseason, have someone snatch him up.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little gimmicky for me.
All right. See how it is. I see Dom C. Where's that other super chat? I saw one in here. All right.
One again.
So you won again? I got to pick another Nightbot qualifier. Oh, I see Ali in here. I'll get Ali in here in just a second. Give me just a second. Copying and pasting things. Ali, welcome to Talkin' Jets. What's good, brother?
How you guys doing?
Oh, we're just having fun. Rusty Spooner's upset with Nightbot. He says Streamlabs greater than Nightbot. We're having a Nightbot fight or a bot fight in the chat. I accidentally put 2 on, and now they're both going, and now people are like, WTF, mate?
They're mad at each other.
Right? All right. Hold on. Let me find this one again. Someone typed boobs in the chat. I love it. 80085. All right. Joe Grana drops in the super chat, says, what is the worst first round combo of picks at 4 and 10 that you would still be happy with and really couldn't complain? It would be Hamilton at 4, and it would be Sauce Gardner at 10. I would be very upset with that, but they were both positions of need, and I will sit and stew about it. Ali, I want to get your thoughts. What are the worst 2 first round picks you could have at 4 and 10?
Probably a safety at 4.
There you go, Matt.
And then at 10,
or I'll say Derek Stingley. I'll say Derek Stingley at 10. I would be upset with Stingley. I would prefer Sauce over Stingley, so I'd be upset with Stingley.
Yeah, 100%. I just the position group. It has to be either offensive lineman or an edge or some sort like that. Maybe in a wideout, but I would be very upset if it's like a safety and a defensive lineman. Not an edge,
what about
like
you?
it's just a random defensive lineman.
Yeah, like a tackle or like D tackle.
Yeah,
or something.
that's
Green Bean. What would your worst 4 and 10 picks be?
Oh, the
That you would
worst.
still
Yeah,
be okay with. Like it's not not we're not taking a quarterback at 4, but like things you would still be okay with, but still like
Well, I gotta say, there's a lot that I would be okay with. Like, even though I have my own specific, tact. Like I said, like if they decided to do some other things, like go, tackle and receiver, like I get it. Even though I don't want to see that, I wouldn't be rooting for that. But I think Ali said it, like defensive tackle. If we're using any of those top 10 picks for a defensive tackle, I would be very disappointed. And the other one I was going to say is quarterback. Like it's like all the rumors you hear that we're number one, the highest odds to get Jimmy G or highest odds to get Aaron Rodgers. Like then we go and we take, Malik Willis at 4. Like I would lose it. That would make me upset. And anything else I could get with, but those two things I just said.
Matt, how are you feeling about 4 and 10, and what would piss you off?
So are we going just piss me off, or like something that it was bad that would maybe I could talk myself into being good?
Let's go that route because I don't want to go like the D tackle quarterback route because kicker and punter, right? Like there's like I could go a bunch of different ways. I'd be very upset, but like realistically, what could you see the Jets doing that you would be irritated with? But still happy.
Yeah, so this is hard. So I wanted to think about it for a little bit. I would say Linderbaum at 4 and Devin Lloyd at 10. Because I think both are good players, but I wouldn't want to take those guys in that spot. So I'd be like, okay, these are two guys who would probably be here for a while, and yeah, they're both positions in need, but I don't know if I would have did that. But then at the same time, I could probably talk myself into being happy with it. So
that's actually a really, really good answer because that's how you kind of have to look at it. It's like, okay, good player. Don't hate the player, just hate the pick at like the need we need. So good thoughts. Really good question. Really good question, Joe.
Yeah, that's a good thinker.
Dom C, our buddy Dom C, drops in with super chat, says, who is the one player you think is not being talked about enough as a fit for us, and one player Jets fans are hyping up too much? All right.
Ooh, good
Let's
one.
do this. All right. Someone that we're not hyping up enough.
Is this a draft, free agency, or our own team question?
Ooh, that's a good thing. I'm assuming he's talking draft.
Okay.
Yeah, let's take this as a draft question. So I'm gonna say one that people are hyping too much. I'll say next. I'm gonna say one that people aren't hyping enough first. I'll say that's a tough one. Not enough. See, I don't want to get it hyped up because then people are going to start talking about him.
Okay.
I like Jermaine Johnson. I keep saying Jermaine Johnson at 10.
I was literally about to say that.
Yeah, I'll say Jermaine Johnson should be hyped up more. I think I would be fine with taking him at 10. That'll be my who's not being talked about. My who is being talked about too much and being overhyped. I'm going to say it. It's Trey McBride. Like, look, I want the guy in the second round, but everyone is riding him right now. And like, if you say, hey, you could get Ruckert in the 3rd, I might take Ruckert in the 3rd over McBride in the 2nd, depending on who's on the board. You look at some of the guys that were taken in the 1st round at tight end, and a lot of them over the course of the last 10 years, not good. The only ones worth their picks, and it's even arguably worth their picks, is Pitts at 4 and Hawkinson at 8. And Hawkinson at 8, you're getting like 50 yards a game. Is that really worth that? The rest of the first round picks all have been busts when you consider the players that were taken around him. So, yeah, I'll say McBride and I'll say Jermaine Johnson. Matt, are you ready?
Yes.
Right, we'll go with you. We'll go to Green Bee and then we'll go to Ali last.
So the player that I think needs or deserves more love, it's kind of playing off your McBride one, and I'm going to say Jeremy Ruckert. I think he is getting love, but I think people are so obsessed with McBride, they're not necessarily appreciating how good Ruckert is. So that's kind of the angle that I wanted to go with there. And then I think Derek Stingley is a little bit on the overrated side.
That's a good one.
But again, 2019 Stingley, different conversation. But I think people are focusing too much on tape that's a couple years old at this point.
I like that a lot. Green Bean, talk to me.
Well, I think that a player that, and I'm going to still do some deep diving, but I think it's interesting that Jets fans are so high on Evan Neal at 360 pounds when Mekhi Becton is a perpetual injury concern at 367 because of his weight. So I think that's one that makes me scratch my head a little bit. And again, I'm going to be digging into him deeper than I have yet tonight. So we'll see. But that one, I think that's an interesting one. I'm like, I don't know. I don't see how that fits. But a guy that I don't think we're talking about enough, even though it's not going to be a top 40 pick, is Kyle Phillips, man. That guy, if you want to let Berrios go and bring in Kyle Phillips in the mids to late rounds, I think slam dunk, man. That guy's unbelievable out of UCLA. And I think, again, I'm not saying he's a top 2-round pick, but I think that's a guy that more Jets fans need to take a look at as a solution to wide receiver in the slot position, kick returner, all that kind of stuff. He's a guy that I think isn't getting enough love out there. So yeah, Evan Neal and Kyle Phillips.
Wow, some really good answers. Ali, talk to me. Who you think's overhyped? Who you think's not overhyped?
For overhyped, it's a new name. I feel it's Traylon Burks. He's been on a lot of Jets radar, and a lot of people are kind of overhyping him. I think he's not where people are projecting him, and think that the Jets are going to get like a star wide receiver at him right out of the gate. Enough film, maybe he can be, but like from the film I watched, I don't think he was going to be like that outstanding of a player. You guys pretty much took all the ones that I was going to do, and I literally wrote an article. Literally, I was releasing an article in 2 days about this topic because I was at the.
So who would you go? Give me who you would talk about, because I think you're talking Jermaine Johnson.
Yes, I was. And you took it right out. He's an edge that, if we don't get the top guys, he's a guy that I would take 100%. He was winning all his battles. I said it in your stream last week. He was winning every battle. Every rep counted, and he was on fire. And he's a guy that's just been overlooked because of these top guys that have been at the, top 3 pick margin. So I think he's a guy that's been just overlooked a lot. And I hope that he can, make and be there for the Jets, and the Jets saw that because I believe he was on the Jets team. So I think he. If the Jets are available, if at our pick he's available, I would take him
100%. Chris Miser drops in. Mazer says everyone's hot takes. Ooh, okay. Give me a second. Oh, sorry. Beer burps.
Hot cakes?
Hot cakes. If anyone has a hot take, raise your hand and we'll go to you first. Because I gotta think of one.
Yeah, I gotta think
of a hot take regarding what?
Anything. The world is your oyster, Ali. Could be anything.
Could be anything. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm stumped for some reason. I got nothing.
I don't know if it's so much of a hot take, but I don't think Braxton Berrios is here next year.
Not if he wants $9 million.
Oh, definitely not. But I get the feeling, I think Joe Douglas wants to be around 5, and I think he will get more. And what kills me is he's probably going to go to the Patriots because we snatched him off their practice squad, and they're just going to be itching to get him back. And it's going to be one of those Danny Woodhead situations. It's going to burn me up inside.
But even more, he's going to be
because he's good. Like that's the thing that kills me is like, just please don't ask for 9. Like please don't ask for. Like I want you back on the team. Please don't ask for 9. If you want to do an incentive-based contract, you want to give him Cole Beasley $7 million a year. Okay, fine. I can live with that. Give him the incentive up to 9. If he has top 15, top 10 slot numbers, whatever it is, green light. Go ahead. Fine. I just don't want to see him go to the Patriots.
Yeah.
Anyone else got one?
Here's my hot take. All right, go on, Matt.
No, I was just saying I'm still stumped. I'm saying so I'd prefer.
Okay. All right. Here's my hot take. All right. Now I'm gonna watch the chat blow up at me. Both Becton and Denzel Mims are going to be on this team next year, starting next year, and impactful next year. There you go.
Ooh,
Heard it here first.
That's a good hot take.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go a different direction. Denzel Mims and Mekhi Becton will not be on this team at the start of next year.
Nope.
That would have been
Green Bean, I'm going to put you on the spot. Why? Why? Do you think that?
Because I've watched every snap of both of their careers in college. I watched their rookie years. Last year was an anomaly in a 23-year-old wide receiver's career. Whatever we have of Denzel Mims, last year was the outlier. So we have significantly more data to support that he's a good player than a bad player. We don't know what happened last year. We know he ate salmon. We know he got COVID. All the things. We don't know what it was specifically. Again, everything leading up says that this guy's a stud. Mekhi Becton was dominating Nick Bosa, and he started 14 games for us in his rookie year and looked like a Pro Bowler. Again, got rolled on. The injury lasted longer than we thought, but I think everybody's nuts, and we're just jumping off the cliff on two guys that are in their third year and had enough rookie season to show us significantly more talent than they're giving credit for. Given credit for. So I think both of them. That's right. Eat it, all of you, in the chat.
Ooh, okay. Matt, you got something for me?
Got a good enough answer, Ali.
And it's not a hot take, but it is at the same time. Okay. And the reason why it is because it's only happened once in the last 10 years for the Jets. Their quarterback, Zach Wilson, is going to start every game in 2022.
Ooh, okay. All right. That's kind of like the lukewarm of hot takes, but I'll take it.
Well, I mean,
no, I see what you're saying. No, you're right. Look, it's a tough sport. The chances of you having a player that plays all 17 games now, it's slim. I would bet the percentage across the league is like less than 50%.
Yeah, I don't know. That's my first one for now. Maybe I'll think of another one another time. I don't know.
Fair
I don't
enough.
want to be put on a hot
take spot.
I know. Yeah.
That's what
this one's coming back to bite me, Matt. You know this is coming back for me later.
Yeah,
see, I would have loved
some jackass is going to clip that and tweet it at Green Bean all year and God knows where.
Every Sunday night.
Yeah.
I like the almost where Green Bean was going to go. I thought he was going to go with the Becton was going to be traded. And I was like, ooh, I should have picked that one. That's a good one. Ali, you got a hot take for us?
Yes. I do think the Jets will trade for a superstar wide receiver this year.
Okay.
I don't really like as much. Like, there's a couple of good wideouts in this draft, but I feel like if they really want to improve their team and actually want to develop Zach Wilson, and don't let this be another, Sam Darnold situation, Geno Smith situation. They go out and get a star wide receiver, pair them with Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, and get this offense into another gear. And I think there's a lot of wideouts in the market. They're going to definitely do a deep dive, and that might cost a first-round pick or one of our first-round picks, at least a 10th one maybe. So I would see them trading for a wide receiver this season.
Zachary Matt, I need your help. How do you say his name?
I'm going to say 𝐒𝐿𝐫𝐞𝐿.
Oh, wow. That's a good. Okay. Zachary 𝐒𝐿𝐫𝐞𝐿. Thank you so much for the super chat. Says, what wide receiver do you want to target in free agency and what other players in free agency? Okay. That's a loaded question because there's a lot there. Let's go receiver wise.
Here's the answer.
Braxton Berrios.
Yeah, Berrios would be the guy.
Braxton Berrios.
That's a good question to something that I think Zachary's probably a little irritated that you guessed. But free agent wise, I don't know. I don't love the free agent wide receiver class. Now that Godwin and Gallup are out, I mean, hopefully Cooper or another receiver maybe gets cut. That's who I would maybe go for. I think Jarvis Landry's definitely getting cut. I would take Jarvis Landry probably over a few of the other receivers because I think he'll come a little bit cheaper. I'll say Jarvis Landry with like Allen Robinson, kicker, I guess. Ali, what do you think?
That's the thing. Allen Robinson's name scares me every single year. I feel like every time in January, February, we're gonna get Allen Robinson, and then he just ends up staying. And it's always a back to. I just don't like any of the wideouts. That's why I wanted to trade. And that's for Calvin Ridley. If he's mentally good and ready to go, I would definitely trade for him. And even if you had to trade for Amari Cooper somehow, like even if he gets tagged or something like that, I would trade for Amari Cooper. I think he would be dynamic in our offense.
Yeah, Cooper's the guy. If I had to trade for a receiver, if you could figure out the contract and you're okay eating $20 million, I think Cooper's the way I'd want to go with the trade. Green Bean, who would you say you want as a free agent wide receiver? Microphone.
Thank you, because I was talking to the kids.
That's all right.
I know Ali doesn't like the Robinson idea, but I happen to. I think Robinson is an exceptional wide receiver. He had a down year, obviously had some injury stuff, but when you look at his quarterback carousel the last couple of years and his situation with Nagy and everything, there's every reason to understand why he would have dips in his production. And I think this is an opportunity to get that $20 million wide receiver for significantly less, maybe 15, maybe something like that. So you can actually get him at a bargain rate because of those numbers. And he's going to want to prove the world wrong and everything. So maybe you give him a 2-year contract or something like that, and then keep bringing in young bodies and everything behind him. But I think having Allen Robinson with Elijah Moore and Corey Davis out there for a year would be fun. I think that'd be good. Yeah, that's the guy I think I'd like most.
The connection with Robert Saleh, I think that seems like a potentially likely situation for the New York Jets. Matt, your thoughts on wide receiver?
I don't really like that many free agent wide receivers. I'm more of a draft or trade for one. I guess if we're counting Braxton Berrios, I would like to bring him back, but at $5 million, not $9 million. But other than that, I would say either a trade for like a Cooper Ridley or use pick 10 on Burks London or Wilson.
Mark Fish drops in the super chat, says, cut Crowder's $5 million. Does that make Berrios $9 million okay? No, because Crowder's already off the team. He's not under contract. But I get what you're saying. If you remove Berrios, or if you remove Crowder and you remove Keelan Cole, that frees up, $10 million worth of wide receiver money, and you just give that over to Berrios. Doesn't quite work that way, but I see where you're going with it, and I don't hate it, but it's not necessarily the right way to think about it. Let's see. Green Bean, I'm going to ask you to jump over to last week's Talkin' Jet stream and just get 5 names ready for me. This is a weird. Okay. Nicholas George the King. Wow. I said that right. Nicholas George the King, thank you for the super chat, says, hot take, Carter leads the league in yards per carry and total yards along with most yards after contact. I think he is going to get most yards after contact. I would love to see the rest of it. That would be fantastic. Sign me up for it. Yes, 100%. Chris drops in with another super chat, says, my hot take is that we get Allen Robinson. Ooh, see? I think Allen Robinson's going to be a trending name for us just because of that Saleh connection. We've talked about it like multiple times. He says we're going to get him on the cheap due to a down year. Thoughts? And
cheap.
I would be cool with that and double dipping in the draft for O-line, D-line in the top 2 picks. Double dipping in the draft. Now you're confusing me. This is double dipping in the draft does not mean going for 2 different positions. You got to look up what double dip means, Chris. But yes,
or maybe he's saying out of the 4 picks, 2 O-line, 2 D-line. Right?
Yeah. Maybe he is saying that. God, I don't love that. But no, I don't love
Get
that.
It done. Get it done. He's committing.
I like Allen Robinson. I could get on board with Allen Robinson. I would say I would not want to double dip, but I do want to spend our top picks, 1 O-line, 1 edge rusher. Ali, your thoughts?
I agree. I really do want them to focus on. We all know that Douglas likes the offensive line, so he's definitely going to go offensive lineman somewhere with those top picks. And there's a lot of great guys out there that they can choose from. And for the edge rusher, we do need an edge rusher. Obviously, we're getting Carl Lawson back. We do need an edge rusher, though. And Jermaine Johnson is where it comes in handy because he's a guy that could come in. He's a solid player. He's a very good locker room guy. players spoke highly of him at the Senior Bowl. So I think props to him. If the Jets can get him, that's a slam dunk.
Green Bean, we heard your thoughts on Allen Robinson. Matt, I want to hear your quick thoughts on Allen Robinson.
I am afraid of Allen Robinson with the production from this past year. And I know people are going to point to, well, he played awful quarterback play. True, but he also put up good numbers with Bortles and Foles and who the hell else was there last year? Trubisky. So I think it's a little bit more than just it was a bad year with quarterback play. So I'm a little bit worried with him.
I see FM in the chat real quick. He said, oh, nope, sorry, that's the wrong one. Where'd it go? He says, Ryan, what is the Salah Robinson connection that you referred to? It's because they were both. So Salah was the linebackers coach in Jacksonville while Robinson was the wide receiver in Jacksonville. So there is a connection. They do know each other. All right. Where is 𝐿𝐿NJetFan? 𝐿𝐿NJetFan drops in the super chat, says, Ryan needs to stop talking about wide receivers he likes. Every time he names one, they tear their ACL. Yes. Gallup, Godwin, and friggin' Jameson Williams. Every receiver that I've liked so far, my top 3 for the offseason, all tore their ACLs. And I'm not happy.
I don't know if you compare with Matt's jersey thing, though, man. I think it was, what, a half hour after he made that little clip? These are the jerseys I buckled and bought them. Everybody was injured that night.
Yeah, man. Carl Lawson lasted about 48 hours.
Oh. B2B dropped in with a super chat. He says, well, he didn't say anything. He backed out his super chat and he says, sorry, I'm drunk. And I say, cheers to you, my friend. Thank you for the super chat.
Oh, that's
much appreciated. Awesome. And then, where did it go? I just saw another one. Oh, and then he dropped in with another super chat. So he's good again. He says, if JD doesn't spend all our available cap money towards winning this season, we should be pissed at him. What's the address of a Taco Bell? I don't know. Is that a trick question? What's the address of a Taco Bell?
No, he's talking about my joke. Everybody, or not my joke, what I said about the drive-through.
Oh,
he's looking for some extracurricular activities.
Oh, geez. I see what you're saying. That makes a lot of sense.
After I said that,
we'll go there together. We'll hop in a car. We'll all take a ride together, and we'll go get some of Green Bean's magical order 13 or whatever it was.
Yeah, see if my guy's still there. Right.
See if he's still hanging out over there. All right, we have reached the end of our stream, and I want Green Bean to give me 5 names. We're going to pick our T-shirt qualifiers. Actually, I probably got to go. What do I got? 1, 2, 3. I got to pick one more from the chat, and then Green Bean, if you got 5 names, rattle them off for me.
All right, we got Mark Ferrero.
Mark Ferrero. Okay.
Got Mutt Vials.
Love it.
Muddy B.
Then we got Sublime. That's right. Sublime Music Channel, who was a guy. He and I have a special relationship. He didn't like me for a long time.
So, fun fact, I made a music video to what I thought was Sublime's song, I've Seen Better Days, but it's actually Citizen King's song, I've Seen Better Days, and it's got like 500,000 views on YouTube.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you told us. That's right.
Yeah, I made that in high school. So if you want to catch that, look up, I guess if you type in Sublime, I've Seen Better Days, it'll probably pop up. I think the thumbnail might be like my key in the ignition or something, but whatever.
Nice.
Okay, fire away. 2 more names.
Let's do Justin Aarons, Arons.
Okay, and one more.
And even though he's being a dick in the chat right now to me after my Mims take, let's say FM.
FM. All right. What did Nightbot give me? Eugene Stanton. Eugene Stanton, you are qualified as well. All right. We got a little odds or evens action right now. So guys, get your fingers ready. 3, 2, 1. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Odds.
It's gonna be hard with an extra person.
It really is. I'm trying to do math on the fly, and it's like not as easy as you would think. All right, 3, 2, 1. 6, 9, 10, 11. Odds again. Oh, the name I really wanted to win didn't win. Raw Power was the one I was kind of hoping for because it just.
Oh yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1. 7, 9, 19. Haha, odds. All right.
Changed nothing.
Oh, no. Okay, we're down to 2. Chat. Give us a number after Mr. Wrecked because he's jumped early. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Go, chat, go.
Matt was a 0. Okay, 2, 4, 6.
But it was just a
plus
chat.
9, 15. Okay, so we're going odds. Ooh. All right, this guy's a little bit of a dick, but that's fine. FM.
Oh,
FM,
you lucky bastard. Look at this guy.
FM, hit me up on one of my social media channels. We'll get you a t-shirt, send it out your direction. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. All right, we have reached the end of our show. We're going to go around our panel, get some closing thoughts. Ali, jumping in last half hour, give me some thoughts that you have. Tell us where to find you, what you got going on.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I had a couple of things that I have to do today, so that's why I came late to the stream. But I just wanted to say thank you to all. I think there's a lot of followers on here that know me, so thank you for the last week's support at the Senior Bowl. I really do appreciate that a lot. The messages were overwhelming. I got emails. No one emails me, so I got emails. I have Instagram DMs, Twitter DMs, new followers, subscribers. And I really appreciate that. It kind of made me tear up like on the flight when I was reading them. So I really appreciate the, you guys reading everything that I posted, watching all the videos and all that stuff. So I really do appreciate that. If you don't know who I am, I'm Ali. You can find me at LoyalNYJetFans on Instagram and Twitter. I post daily articles on official LoyalNetwork.com. And there's going to be a lot of Senior Bowl and a lot of mock drafts probably starting next week. Actually, I'm doing a mock draft for the Senior Bowl type thing, so I'm going to do that next week. Thank you guys for having me on.
I love it. Guys, if you have not followed Ali, his links are in the description down below. Make sure you follow his YouTube page. He's also on Instagram, LoyalNYJetFans. Great page. Absolutely great page throughout the season. He posts highlights. He's got everything. It's like my go-to place. Green Bean, any last thoughts for our panel?
Yeah, man. A pleasure to be here as always. It's such a good time. It moves fast for me. So, and I'm grateful to have this opportunity with all you guys. But yeah, Thursday, thick of it this week, 8 p.m. on Thursday. We have 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐶𝐿𝐴ge on. So let's see what he's got to talk about. He's taking a break from giving free stuff to all the Jets fans on Twitter. So we're going to have him on this Thursday. Green Bean Jets fan YouTube.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Matt, what you got going on over there?
Big week for me. On Sunday, we're launching Jets Analytics on Patreon. So patreon.com/MattO'LearyNY. You get access to over 30 player cards from the Jets this past year. It's just basically data visualization. And we'll have weekly write-ups on different players, free agents, draft. We're going to get some college players in there too. So I can't wait to get that launched. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I love it. Boys and girls, thank you so much for flying with us tonight. My name's Ryan. I've been your pilot. This is Jets Talk signing off. JETS.